Welcome to South App number 3, The Haze of Dog City. Written, narrated, and produced by Alex Keefer. Friday, August 14th, 2020. I already told you. I don't fucking know. Connor, the bowl-cut nerd from the 300 Hall, sat strapped in a chair in a candlelit den. A man wearing a beaver costume towered over him. The beaver held a switch, attached to a cord that ran straight to the electrodes on Connor's nipples. This was the Nippleizer 50K. The beaver pointed at a whiteboard that read, "What was Chadwick Hughes' favorite sex position?" Connor mumbled, shaking his head feverishly. "What was it, the Amazon position?" Connor squealed as the machine shocked him with 50,000 volts. Then, the beaver ripped the electrodes off his puffy purple nipples. He leaned into Connor's ear, his mask smelling like a familiar sandalwood cologne.
Sir Chad was all about doggy style,
the beaver muttered.
Didn't much care for seeing the woman's face.
Suddenly, 2 giant security guards entered the room in black suits and sunglasses.
Toss him in the ice bath,
the beaver commanded.
Let him cool off them pepperoni nips.
Connor protested as the guards dragged the chair across the hardwood floor. His voice echoed hopelessly down the hall. Alone, the beaver stared up at the portrait on the wall. The first president of Beta Delta Epsilon South App chapter, Sir Chadwick Hughes. Armed with a chiseled jaw and a pomade-powered haircut, he had built this brotherhood on the foundations of freedom, loyalty, and legal alcohol sales on Sunday. Chadwick had died long before this latter dream had been realized, but rumor had it his ashes lay buried beneath this very fraternity house in the heart of Greek Row. As an aside, Chadwick earned the Sir title after he had once fist-bumped Paul McCartney at a Benihana's. Nice! High heels approached the doorway. "My, oh my," a southern voice cooed. "Now, you totally did a number on that poor boy. Didn't you, Winston?" Winston removed his beaver mask and faced Claire Dansby, Beta Delta Epsilon's token female social chair. She strutted up to him in a red cocktail dress and matching stilettos. Last week at the karaoke bar, Winston had caught Claire's eye by singing a Toby Keith ballad. While the apathetic hipsters were playing on their phones, Claire had hopped on stage to sing along. After buying her a few dry martinis, he had scored an invitation to Rush with BDE. The catch, Winston would not be receiving the hazing, he would be delivering it. "Chad's favorite sex position," Claire read the whiteboard. I reckon he totally knew the Kama Sutra better than his own mama." "I, Chadwick Hughes, solemnly swear to try every position at least once, except the Amazon position," Winston recited, straight out of the late president's diary. "You totally did your homework." Downstairs, they heard a splash, followed by Connor's blood-curdling scream. Claire stroked Winston's beard, then patted the fuzzy chest of his costume. "Are you totally ready to hit the town, big guy? There'll be plenty of victims, pledges, for you to befriend tonight." Tonight was the BDE bike run, an endurance test of physical, mental, and testicular fortitude. A handful of freshmen would strap on bike helmets to fight for the title of brother, and Winston and Claire were the judges. In his eyes, the fewer people pledging meant the fewer people in his way between Claire and him, and as Winston watched her hourglass figure walk away, he determined that there would be very, very few people getting through. In Firewater Hall, Gigi had stuffed a towel under the door to hotbox her room. She sprawled on the futon, dressed down in loose sweats, and a comfy purple shirt that she had stolen from Ty. On the coffee table was a full spread, a pita chip and hummus tray, cheap weed from Evelyn, Nintendo Switch controllers, a big bag of Sour Patch Kids, empty cans of Red Bull, and a pint of Jägermeister. Now, Gigi had never tasted liquor before, but after the honors program had rejected her, she had decided now was the perfect time. Apparently, a 5,000-word essay about Winston's eating habits did not impress the distinguished faculty. So she resigned herself to sipping Jaeger bombs while binging reruns of The Office. Suddenly, Gigi heard Sarah's voice as footsteps approached from outside. She hopped up and pressed her body against the door, hell-bent on trapping the smoke in that room.
Dude, what the hell?
Sarah muttered.
It's stuck. Whoa, far out,
replied some stoner guy.
I'm sensing the evil spirit in these walls, man. Dumbass.
Sarah scoffed, bashing the door with her shoulder between breaths.
This goddamn dorm is older than your sweater.
Wait! Gigi finally yelled, her knees buckling. My, boyfriend's in the room, so you probably shouldn't come in.
Winston?
Sarah's voice cracked.
If you're in there, I'm gonna draw and quarter your ass.
Sarah kicked the door clean off one of its hinges. Gigi's 120-pound body flew across the room like a rag doll, crashing into the beanbag chair. Weed smoke dispersed down the hall, and Gigi's hot box was officially ruined. Whoa, that was tits, said the stoner, sporting long brown hair and a Jesus beard. You perv, Gigi scolded, shooting to her feet and covering her chest. Oh, sweet summer child, Sarah laughed at her. See, my new friend Tweed was using tits to emphasize how cool it was when you went slingshotting across the room like a trebuchet. Besides, Tweed would never hit on you, or anybody for that matter. Right on, Tweed affirmed, flashing a peace sign. I'm an asexual vegan Rastafarian. My pronouns are they and them. Welcome to Asheville. Lending to his name, this guy wore an ugly tweed sweater that draped over his holy jeans. I see. I'm Gigi, she greeted, returning the peace sign. She pointed at the door that held on for dear life on a single hinge. So, Sarah, I couldn't help but discern that you morphed into a flying mammal out of Hades upon my impromptu fib of Winston and yours truly. Sarah digested her words, then an overdramatic gag at the thought of her brother and her roommate knocking boots. Anywho, Tweed and I are about to head to the Woke City bar crawl to learn all about the slacktivist ways we can make this shitty world a little less shitty. You should join us, since it looks like you've been pre-gaming already. Gigi hiccuped, tasting the hot, tart Jaeger on her tongue. Count me in, she cheered, stuffing the pint into her purse. Now that's a total righteous move, Tweed declared. Let's go smoke and get woke. Claire laughed maniacally as she sped through downtown Asheville in a golf cart. Beaver suit Winston sat in the back seat, facing 7 drunk college students who tailed them on bicycles. The BDE bike run was officially underway. I say we hit him with, something totally dangerous, Claire yelled. The cyclists huffed and puffed in pursuit, all except one. Leading the pack was a suave, tan Italian guy in an Italian national football jersey. Pedaling with long, toned legs, he refused to break a sweat. Winston smirked under his mask, reaching into a cardboard box of goodies.
So long, pepperoncini,
Winston yelled, lifting a bucket of motor oil and dousing the street. The Italian and another pledge crossed the oil slick without a hitch, but 3 others felt their wheels wobble, then pummeled into the bushes. Well, they're like totally bad drivers, Claire giggled. Now get you something good to stop that sexy tan guy in front.
Say no more, ma'am,
Winston muttered, withdrawing a rusty iron chain. He twirled it like a lasso, then launched it straight for the Italian's tire. But this mysterious man smirked, winked at Winston, and jetted to the side. The chain coiled around another guy's tire, sending him headfirst into the Basilica's Virgin Mary statue. Claire stopped at a red light. There were 3 freshmen left, the nameless Italian and 2 poster child frat boys named Chad and Taggart. Winston stood up in his seat.
Hey, assholes, red light means drink.
The 3 chugged from their sports bottles. Tag and Chad struggled to wolf their drinks down, but the Italian finished his, refusing to break eye contact with Winston. With a grin, Claire sipped on a tall vanilla milkshake. Do you think they even know what hit them? Claire cackled.
I reckon one of them well in a minute,
Winston replied. Suddenly, Chad collapsed to the ground, taking his bicycle with him. He began coughing his lungs out, pounding the pavement with his fists. Claire hopped out of her seat and walked on over.
My, oh my.
Claire teased, sipping her shake as Chad squirmed in the fetal position.
Looks like you totally drew the short straw. See, your bottle's a good old mix of light beer and bona fide ghost pepper oil.
The lucky Tag and Italian watched as Chad crawled on hands and knees, reaching for Claire's milkshake like a baby. Claire mused, chewing her straw.
So your name's Chad, I reckon.
Fuck you, bitch.
Oh, look at you.
Claire continued.
The hunk named Chad who founded our chapter would have totally drunk that for breakfast with his post-coital bacon and eggs. You're like a total pussy. So be a good pussy boy and spread your legs.
Winston's, Tag's, and the Italian's gaze shifted from amusement to confusion, but slowly Chad spread his legs, swearing as he wiped sweat from his eyes. Claire giggled, turning around to take a long, satisfying sip. Then she lifted her high heel and stomped Chad's crotch. Chad's wailing scream could have rattled the late Chadwick's corpse. The three of them stared in shock while Claire poured the rest of her shake onto Chad's face. She walked over to Winston and removed his mask.
You were fucking brilliant,
Claire cheered, stroking his beard.
Tag and Tortellini, whatever your name is, he sure did a number on y'all, but you totally beat the odds. Let's go back to the house so you can totally pledge and shit.
But this nameless Italian walked straight past Claire and knelt down at Chad's side. He removed his own jersey, his six-pack abs bulging through his undershirt, and wiped the milkshake off Chad's beet-red face.
Hello?
Claire called out while the Italian continued to nurse Chad.
Looks like we have a total straggler.
Claire hopped back in the driver's seat and started the ignition.
Shame on you, spaghetti boy,
she yelled.
You were almost as dashing as my burly beaver man.
Alas, such blind immorality, the mystery man scolded in a thick Italian accent. Why, your charlatan legacy will taint this city like the bubonic plague. She looked at him with pity and acceptance.
Well, come on, you two. We'll have some Swedish hookers at our house. They'll be dying to give y'all a warm welcome to Beta Delta Epsilon.
Apparently that was enough for Tag. He plopped down on the back seat, ripping a beer fart on impact. Come on, my Scott, Tag said in a backwoods Mississippian accent. Oh, that sure does sound like fun. I've never been welcome to anything. Everybody waited on Winston's next move. Claire twirled her blonde hair, Chad licked a gob of milkshake from the pavement, and Tag tried to contain his stomach tremors. The Italian stared with cold, calculating eyes as Winston made the decision to climb into the passenger seat. Claire grabbed Winston's shoulders and leaned in close.
I'm gonna do things to you in bed that would totally make my mama wish she had an abortion.
The golf cart sped through the dark Asheville streets towards Greek Row.
Get out of the fucking road, moron,
Sarah yelled. A shit-faced Gigi stumbled in the middle of the street. Sarah grabbed her arms, yanking her onto the sidewalk. A split second later, a golf cart whizzed by. Gigi sat Indian style, reaching for eye squiggles in front of her face. She turned back to Sarah and Tweed, who began rolling a joint.
How did you get so tall?
The drunk Gigi slurred, staring up at her through glassy eyes. Because God fucking hates me, slurred the drunk 5'11" Sarah. She snatched Tweed's joint and took a hit. It's a blessing and a curse. All the men are too short, and all the dogs are too scared.
Well, all the dogs want to eat me,
responded the 5'3" Gigi.
Or maybe they think I'm one of them?
Fuck. Now I want a dog, Sarah said.
Oh, me too,
Gigi chimed in.
We'll sneak him into the dorm, and he can sleep on my bed.
You raging mutt, Sarah spat. The dog sleeps with me. You can clean up after his happy accidents. Gigi started to cry. Sarah took one long hit of weed, then flicked the joint at Gigi's forehead. Tweed observed these two feral roommates in their natural habitat. Looks like you non-binary members of the human species seem to really love drinking, Tweed declared. Not to mention dogs. I just so happen to know a place where we can do both. Next stop on the Woke City bar crawl is Lazy Tail Tavern, where everybody gets so drunk off craft beer that they adopt one of the bar's four-legged friends. Gigi and Sarah wagged their imaginary tails in excitement. Tweed led the way past several local coffee shops and pizzerias, outside of nearly every business were dog bowls and biscuits, a reminder of the city's true mascot. Gigi grabbed Sarah's hand, forcing her to lag behind.
Hey,
Gigi started, trying to sound sober.
why did you kick down your door? I was only trying to keep my hot box. I only mentioned that me and Winston were in there to get you to fuck off.
Sarah paused, blinking away her own eye squiggles. Look, my horndog brother started blowing me off for pussy ever since he hit puberty. Honestly, I don't care who he dates, but if he ever thinks about hiding it from me, it'll cost him more than the bedroom door. In Gigi's tipsy little head, she tried to make sense of it all. She reached into her purse and took another swig of liquor.
So, when you performed a flying roundhouse kick, you theoretically sacrificed your collegiate privacy in a last-ditch effort to prevent me and your bearded wildebeest of a brother from consummating a one-night stand?
Are you in love with Winston Beavers? Sarah asked, softly, seriously.
What is that?
Gigi suddenly blurted out, looking over Sarah's shoulder. She skittered off towards two male students sitting on a bench.
Where can I find that?
She slurred, pointing at the tallest vanilla milkshake she had ever seen.
My stars, replied the Italian student from the bike run. Why, this concoction was birthed in a wonderful creamery down yonder. May you whet my appetite by bestowing upon me the pleasure of escorting you there, I beseech you.
What's this? What's this?
Gigi asked herself.
Somebody who talks just like me? Oh, such kindness knows no bounds.
Gigi played along.
I bid you humor me in disclosing the geographical origin of that voluptuous accent.
With ease, young lass. I am called Francisco of the Rossi family, from Verona. But those who make such a gentle acquaintance as yours may humbly refer to me as Frank.
He extended out a hand.
Alas, it is my great delight that I take up residency in the States on scholarship to partake in the beautiful sport of football.
And I am Jihei of the Moon Dynasty, from the sleepless streets of Seoul, South Korea.
She shook his hand.
But on account of your neighborly theatrical aura, I bestow upon thee the privilege of referring to me as Gigi. Oh, football. Mayhaps I bore witness to your athletic prowess during the home opener?
2 fucking peas in a pod, Sarah scoffed at Tweed as they walked over to the group. Imagine that. They mastered the English language, yet nobody understands shit they say. Sarah propped her elbow on Gigi's shoulder. Hey, roomie, here's a piece of advice. Your new friend is talking about soccer, not American football, retard.
Whoa, dude, Tweed mused. You should only reserve that heavy word for the moral majority. If people see us throwing it around like corporate bailouts, it'll lose its meaning.
Gigi cleared her throat.
Frank, these are my friends, Sarah and Tweed. Does your friend here have a name?
The downtrodden, red-faced frat boy said nothing, occasionally sipping his milkshake while staring into space.
He certainly does, Frank replied, standing up like his lawyer. He is the one called Chad, and this Chad is a noble man of utmost stature, whose aforementioned nobility bore witness to a crime against humanity, of ever so deviant acts impressed upon him by a clique of prima donnas.
Yeah, in layman's terms, Chad muttered, we tried our damnedest to pledge with Beta Delta Epsilon. We got fucking humiliated. Well, I did at least. Tweed took a hit of weed and knelt down at Chad's feet.
Whoa, you mean that fraternity of rich trust fund babies? Because fuck those retards. There you go, Sarah. That's a totally PC use of that word.
Tweed gave Sarah a crisp high five. She chuckled, glancing over at Gigi, but not once had she taken her eyes off of Frank.
Fool me twice, shame on me, Chad admitted, because I tried to rest with them last year as a freshman. Things didn't work out then either. I can sense you're not like those meat-headed Neanderthals, Tweet said, placing his hand over Chad's heart. You need to defect from the Greek lifestyle and do something wholesome for the world. Maybe so, Chad pondered, standing up. But not before I get my taste of sweet fucking revenge. See, there's this huge rush party that they'll start any minute now at the BDE frat house. And I want to fuck their shit up. For that bitch Claire, and especially for their president, Ryan. And lest we forget the cowardly bearded beast who doth disguise his countenance beneath a thin beaver veneer, Frank interjected. Alas, his name I know not.
You're a complete poet,
Gigi blurted out, completely missing Frank's reference to Winston. Chad and Tweed shot her a quick side eye. Sarah's face contorted in disgust. Frank raised his thick brown eyebrows and walked over to Gigi. Before she could react, he reached for her hand and kissed it. I thank you humbly, Frank replied, squeezing Gigi's hand. The streets of Asheville shall sing your praise for all eternity. Before a drunk Gigi could pick her jaw up from the floor, Tweed stood up on the bench. So what the fuck are we waiting for? Tweed yelled. Let's sabotage these rich cocksuckers. With some help, of course. Tweed led the others to Lazy Tail Tavern, a dog-friendly bar where humans and canines could freely coexist, where all living things shared the same snacks, water bowls, and heartbeats. Namaste, Tweed greeted the attendant. These are my new non-binary friends of the human species, Sarah the Beatnik, Gigi the Meek, Francisco the Poet, and Chad the Weary. And I am Tweed the Woke. I'm here to borrow your Tibetan Mastiff, Chonk. We're taking him on a little adventure.